Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode.
We are so excited that you are back. We're so excited today. I can't even handle it.
You can hear them giggling. Yeah, they're happy to be here too.
We finally have our first guest that we've been waiting so patiently for ever since we created this podcast.
Yeah,
it is the most amazing sister group that really has truly inspired us to create a podcast of our own. We have been following these ladies for a little while now, and I personally am obsessed with both of them, but they already know that.
An amazing sister podcast,
yes.
witchy, spiritual sister podcast,
Love
and
it
like
all.
cool human beings that were like, damn, we like them.
Yep,
we want to be like them.
Right? So here I am to introduce the amazing Bev Lazar and Shelly Where's your last name? Greenlaw.
Britt.
I fucked up, okay? I'm so excited. I literally was like, oh, okay, cool. At least I know their first names.
Well, yeah.
I don't say, hey, Shelly Greenlaw. Hey, Shelly Greenlaw.
Hey.
How you doing?
Don't worry, I'll never forget it now.
All good.
How are you?
Good.
Totally.
Thank you for
Totally
coming
all
on, ladies. It's a total pleasure to have you on, see your beautiful faces, and share your beautifulness with our people who listen to this.
Yeah, we have 4 listeners.
Call them?
One of them's our mom. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
well, thank you for having us. Honestly,
Yes.
we're very honored to be a part of this, and we feel the same about you two. We love you both, and we, it's been, I don't even know. It's just been a fun journey knowing both of you. So it's been great. So thank you so much for having us, for sure.
Oh, hey, sisters are unstoppable. And I feel like the 4 of us together, we could just take over the fucking world. I got to say that.
I think
That's
so.
Scary. That's like, that is like a weaponized thing there, the 4 of us together.
Literally do anything, guys.
Yeah.
We can do
Everything
anything.
is possible.
Mhm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you so much for having us.
Oh, anytime. We have just been, like I said, waiting patiently so we could finally find an opportunity for you both to be free to come and do this with us. So we are so thankful to know everything about you, but our listeners need to know a little bit more about you. So if it's okay, if both of you could take a quick moment to just kind of let our followers know who you are, what you do, and what made you start in the spiritual world. So if that isn't too
whatever
hard.
that may look like, right? Yeah.
Like, how much
big
time
ask.
do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought I would check.
Yeah.
I believe the term is squirrel.
Yes.
Literally.
We do that.
My sister and I, Shelly, when we shop, it's literally squirreling. We're just like on a mission and walk through and we squirrel off. And it was like, why are we even here? And it's like, oh yeah, right. And so we're so good at squirreling.
It's not even
welcome
just
here.
shopping. It's not even just shopping. It really
Like
is pretty
everything.
much a lot of things.
Yes.
Like if we're talking about something and then all of a sudden we'll have a thought or something will happen and we'll just gotta go and then we go, what were we talking about before? Oh yeah.
That's
Literally.
as long as you come back to it, like with one tidbit about these 2 beautiful sisters is they have their own really popular podcast called the Empath Sisters. And you can find that wherever podcasts are found, Apple, Spotify, and do you have it on anything else? Or is it just those
we have
2?
it on Stitcher and I think it's on Google Play as well.
Wicked,
And
okay.
there's just a whole bunch. So whatever
Amazing.
you listen to, we do.
And
yeah.
YouTube.
And
You can watch
YouTube.
us.
Yeah.
So you can watch them. You can watch
so
these
amazing.
ladies.
And you can separate our voices on YouTube.
Nice.
Right.
Yes.
That's fair.
Fair.
Right.
That's kind of why we introduced the YouTube too, because I'm like, they're not going to know who's talking. I mean, I don't think ours
Exactly.
are similar. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, Jessica and I have been told that like if we're on the phone together, no one knows who we're like who it is. And sometimes I don't even know. If like her and I are like listening to something, I was like, who was that? Was that you or me? And we don't know.
I know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But yes, okay. So Bev, why don't you start?
Oh, sure.
What do you do? What do you do outside of the podcast?
Oh, I do many things outside the podcast. I feel like I'm
Awesome.
constantly just running. So yes, I am Bev Lazar, also like a spiritual mentor, and I have I would call a private practice. Basically, it's I just have like a healing center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I am a Reiki master. So I do Reiki work, spiritual healing, intuitive readings, mediumship. I am a medium as well. So kind of in that psychic and medium realm as well. I do teach kind of like how to work with your gifts as well. So I do have courses at an intro level, kind of just exploring and building on your gifts. And then there's like an intermediate, and I also do teach Reiki as well. And I also am a hypnotherapist, which is
So
also
cool.
something that I super love to do too. So, and I am a mom of 3 and just super busy. And then in my free time that I can find, I get to podcast with my sister and do fun things with her with Empath
Love it.
Sisters. So it's lots of
Amazing.
fun, lots of fun. So
Mhm.
yeah, super grateful to be here. Thank you.
Love it. Love it
Mhm.
so much. And before we get into like your spiritual journey, Shelly, what can you tell us about yourself that you do outside of the Empath Sisters podcast?
Well, same kind of thing with Bev. I mean, she has many hats, and so do I. I'm also a Reiki practitioner. I'm not quite yet to the master part, but I hope to one day.
Amazing.
But I also have my own business as well, and I practice energy healing and spiritual healing, and it's one of my favorite things that I love to do. I'm also a yoga teacher and a doula as well. I will say though, like all of it kind of like incorporates a lot of what I do, and I just truly love everything about it. I really do. Mostly the healing part, but I do love that. And I'm also a mom of 3 as well, and a grandmother of 4 now. And I'm so excited. Yeah, I just
Congratulations.
So lucky.
Love it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so I truly just same thing as Bev. Like I feel like I'm more busy with my family life than I am with with my business, but at the same time and same thing. I truly love when we get to do our podcast together, and it's so much fun.
Awesome.
That's fun.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
It's
Listening
so
to you both,
true-
it's just so amazing. I am just like so hooked to
Yeah.
every episode. I'm just like hanging on every word. I'm like,
Aw.
guide me.
Yeah.
Me.
You
Aw,
did
that's
truly, you truly inspired us to do this because I mean, like, as I know I think you're both aware, like Bev knows, Shelly, I'm moving away. I'm moving to Ireland
I
in
do know, yes.
like a few weeks, basically.
Yeah. Like
So
now we're down to weeks.
we're getting to the point where I'm like, we've got to like keep our tether on each other. And we're like, hey,
That's
well,
it.
now we're committed to each other. And like, we
Mhm.
have to get together. Like there's
Yeah.
none of this, like, I mean, we talk daily anyways. Do you know what I mean? And
Of
I'm
course.
And that's
positive
not
that will
going to
continue.
change. Yeah, exactly.
No,
But this way
but
we can
it is
actually
like, it
see
can
each
be
other.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm like, no, these gals have
Yeah.
done it. And like, okay, that is like, okay, so it can be done. And clearly it's like,
Yeah.
I love it for you guys. It's really cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Totally.
And
Thank
I
you.
I was
love
gonna
that
ask.
you're doing the same. I'm loving that you're doing the same thing.
Mhm.
And it is something to do now these days, right? Where you can stay connected, and it's just great. And I think it's exciting that you're actually moving to Ireland. I wish I was going.
You can come anytime, girl.
You know
You
what we
just
should
come
do
on
in the new
over.
year? Let's go together and
I
do a live
already-
podcast together.
Yes.
Seriously, like
Let's retreat in Ireland.
Right?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good
Oh.
time. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yes, exactly.
I would love to go there. And like, not only that, like I remember even saying to my husband, like when he retires, we want to live abroad somewhere, and Ireland is one of them. And it's just,
Yeah.
I would love to. So I'm super excited for you, but also like secretly jealous.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're welcome to come anytime. There will always be space for you. We're in the southwest part of Ireland, like the old Ireland. And
That's
I'm sure
okay.
people
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing. So yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, by all means. And that's for anybody who's listening, hit me up. If you're ever in Ireland, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Strangers, come on in.
Come on over. Yeah. I was gonna totally like, this is my brain working like, so Shelly, you do everything. You remind me of myself because you've got many hats and we just kind of like flip through everything. Do you know your ruling number? Is it a 9?
It is a 9.
I knew it. I don't know why, but I'm like, okay, like I'm like, she just sounds like me. I'm like, I know she's a Capricorn, but like
No, I'm
nines
not
are like
Capricorn. That's
everybody.
that's
Oh, you're
Bev.
not. Bev,
I'm a
That's the
Capricorn.
Yes.
what are you?
I
What's
don't
your
know.
sign? Oh no,
What's
I'm
your
a
birthday?
Libra.
you're a Libra. Okay.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I'm a Taurus, but I'm a 9 is my
Ah.
ruling number. And I'm like, that's me. But I'm like, hey, she like is a jack of all trades. She's an old soul. I'm like, okay, you're a 9. And for
Yep.
those listeners who are like, what the hell is a ruling number? We will get to that. And you will be so jazzed when we do. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do want to
It's a
say,
fun
if you're
time.
saying if you're asking a ruling number, is that the same as a life number? Because if it's a life number, then I'm a 5.
Yeah.
okay. Ruling number is your birthday. So like your
Yes,
years,
I am.
your month, and
Yeah.
your day. I'll add it up. So that's
Oh,
your
okay.
ruling number. Sorry, or your
Life path.
Your
Well,
life
we call
number
it
is a
life
5?
path number, right?
Yes.
oh
So
Yeah.
I'm a 5. I'm not a 9.
okay.
Where did you
Yeah.
get
What are
9
you a
from,
9
Shelly?
in?
What the heck?
Well, the reason why I got
Exactly.
9 is because it's actually my favorite number, but not only 9 because I'm born on the 9th month, the 9th.
That's fine. So
28th
you
day.
are a 9.
I'm
She's
a
a 9 through and through.
You're a
I'm
9. We're gonna call you a 9.
Because I will say, when I was listening to your guys' podcast, your latest episodes, I felt the same thing. I felt like Jessica, I could not that I don't relate to you, Brittany.
It's all
I
good.
love you
It's
too.
super fun.
But
It's about me right
I-
now, Brittany. Be quiet.
It's fine. It's all you. It's your turn. Let's put her up on the
I
pedestal.
literally
It's in her
said,
glory right
I
now.
totally relate to this, Jessica, for sure.
I'm like, yeah,
Literally,
like this is
Shelly,
my
honestly, the stuff that Jessica does, I'm just like, damn, you're really good at this. And I was like, do you mind if I just don't do anything? Here, take it all.
That's me.
Here's all the credit. Also, I'm just gonna show up. Okay.
Yeah, that's me, Brittany. I just show up. Shelly takes care of it all. I'm
Jessica
like,
has like fucking notes, and she's got like a
I do.
spreadsheet, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
I have a spreadsheet. I like always have this like it's filled to the brim of things.
Oh my
so
God.
she's
I'm
so
obsessed.
great.
I'm also
Okay.
a stationary queen. Anyways, I love it.
Yes.
I just
Shelly
love it. I
has
knew
made
it.
us shared notes on our iPhones.
That's-
she
we
keeps
have a
that
shared
updated
note,
for me.
which I started. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, here's our ideas for our pod.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Amazing.
just add the
There you go.
ideas, and then I'm like, we're gonna start talking about this, okay? And then she's like, good. I'm gonna do all the research. I'm like, okay. I was
Good.
just
And I'm gonna
wing
order
it,
us.
but okay.
I'm like, I'm gonna order us our microphones. I'm gonna order us our what? And like, and now we're starting it and we're recording. So I love
Right.
it.
I think we've just switched sisters.
Honestly,
makes sense.
I guess
And
I
it's
so.
just
funny.
hit it off.
Trading
On my
spaces.
screen.
You're stealing
Yeah.
my sister.
I'm sorry. On my screen, it has like Brittany and Bev on one side,
Yeah.
and then like me and Shelly. On
Me
the other. I was like,
too.
Yeah, me
And
too.
Bev is right beside me, and then Jessica's below me, and Shelly's right down. So it's for me as well. It's very much like
it's
Oh my
so funny. I love it. Like, exactly.
connected,
fun.
but
Right?
more so connected.
I love how we're
Yeah.
so
Meant to
amused
be.
by these things.
Meant to be.
We love
Exactly.
synchronicities.
I love it.
I'm like destroying everything.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh.
Sorry, I totally went sidebar, but I was like, wait a second. Okay, so I'm glad that I got my fangirl out of the way here because I was like, Shelly.
Okay,
Yeah.
now that we know we're talking about life path number, I'm a 6.
Okay.
What
cool.
am I then? What am I?
Okay, I think you're a 6 as well, B. I'm pretty
So
sure.
I'm,
Okay, so you
is if
are
it's ruling number, I'm a 7. I just didn't know what life path number
You're
is.
7.
Is that
The
the same thing?
that's
Oh,
the
then I'm a
same.
7.
Same thing.
I'm a 7.
Yeah.
I'm a
Okay, cool.
6.
There's
She
a-
just jotted
there's a list
jotted
of
that
these
down.
beautiful like
Jessica did? Yeah, she did. She's like,
yeah,
oh,
me. I did.
I knew it.
I think I have a note in my phone. I'm not even kidding you. Of like all because when I was doing my course, I'm like, oh, this person's that, and this one's that, and that. I'm sure I have it in my phone, anyways. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I totally
Okay,
I love a good ruling number.
Okay.
Welcome.
Before, I shouldn't say before. Now that we've discovered what that is, let's actually talk about how.
Did we
guys-
know?
Oh my gosh, Jessica, you're freezing like crazy on my side. Your voice keeps sounding like an accordion, where it's like da 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 da. So
And I think we lost her.
Yeah.
she'll connect back. She'll connect back right away. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm
Well.
good.
That's
Yeah. See,
awesome.
I told you she's coming back. She-
I
So-
hear
That's
her
okay.
in there.
I don't know if
There's
you noticed,
three-
but my mic fell off.
I did notice that you're getting so wild over there. I was just like, whoa, there it goes. There
Like
goes
hands.
the structure.
Yeah, we have flailing hands. You know,
Okay.
our parents are deaf. We do sign language. We can't help it. It's
Can't
just
help it.
we're very
I love that.
expressive.
So because so speaking of your parents, I would love to kind of get to know that for our people. Oh shit, Jessica's paused. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay.
What's up, ladies?
We're back. I paused it on my end for a second.
That's okay. Do I record? Oh, it's still recording on my side. I have no idea the quality of this recording. So for those just joining,
Mine'll be good.
It's been a bit of a mess, but we're making it. I swear, if it's not kids or like Colin was throwing potatoes. Literally, this is a shed that I'm in, basically not a shed.
No,
but like
not.
he found a
sack
sack
cold
of
room.
potatoes and he was throwing potatoes. This is the kind of, anyways. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now when we're recording and on camera. So
yeah, okay. That's okay. I can tell you a potato story later if you'd like.
Yes, I'd love to.
I'd love it.
Okay.
Please.
So what I've been trying to get out for like 20 minutes is we want to know why you both decided to do the podcast, and like what brought you both into like the spiritual world to begin with, just ignite the fire that you're in right now.
Yeah. Wow. Like that's a loaded question, it feels like.
Yeah.
Where does one start?
Yeah, where does one start? Well, I would have to say for Shelly and I, we grew up open.
Yeah.
Like we were just we saw spirits, we you know, like that was our normal. Yeah. So it just started from, I don't know, as long as I can remember in my life.
Me too.
I'm sure for Shelly too. And so that kind of just always happened, and we just always talked about stuff like that. Was like our normal daily talk. It was like, don't talk about life. It'd be like, hey, guess what? Oh my gosh, I had this dream last night. Oh my gosh, like, okay, the record player just started playing. You know, like we talked about this stuff all the time. That's what we literally talked about. And so that was really normal for us. And then you start talking to other people, and then it's like, then we just in our family.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, because then it was literally the point where we were like, okay, we don't talk about it with anybody else now. We just talk about each other.
We learn, you get those faces like, or you stop getting invited to sleepovers. So then you just know, like, oh,
you're bringing the people with you.
We don't talk about that. That's just a weird girl.
Yeah. And like Bev said, we basically grew up, like I'm the oldest, and I have seen spirits since very young. And I am pretty sure, well, if you have followed us and listened to our stories, it really has been since I was very young. And I remember even talking to because we also have a brother, and he's a year younger than me. And I even remember talking to him about it, and we were both very like we, on the same page. And then, same kind of thing like that Bev said, we stuck it to each other, because when we did talk about it to other people, they would look at us like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And so then Bev came along, and then she was just already in the, in the same realm as us, right? Yeah. She could too. And we were all just kind of like, okay, we're just going to stick to each other.
We had our own little spiritual circle.
A little coven.
Power of three.
Literally.
The power of three. If you guys have ever seen Charmed. The power of three.
Oh my God.
Set us free. I don't know what the rest of the chant is, but
I think you would see Charmed, Jessica.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
They don't say that. They don't say that.
And I just want to like add to that picture of, us siblings in this realm, even for before I came along with my sister and my brother. Our parents are deaf as well. They're hearing impaired. And so us talking about it, they didn't hear it. They didn't know that this is what we were seeing or experiencing, or like we'd be scared, or, when the little girl comes flying at you down the hallway, you're just like, you just like walk through
that's
her,
out of a nightmare.
It's just kind of like
horror movie moment.
Yeah. And you kind of got used to it. It was like, oh, that was weird, and then see that. And and we also lived out of town. We were really sheltered. Our dad was really, really controlling. And so we just it just felt like we just really had each other. And, you know, when you start sharing it with other people and they're kind of like, oh, and like, we were already bullied, I felt like, made fun of because our parents were deaf. We were really poor. Like we had a lot already against us, I felt like. So it's just like, we really learned to like stick together. So we really kind of just had each other. So, and then we're in our own little spiritual bubble.
Yeah.
It's true, because even our children, like, it's true, because of the way we are, even our children, we talk about it like it's normal.
Been normal.
You know, my son, like our two daughters,
all of
like
my kids,
even her kids, like we all kind of like talk to each other about it all the time. We don't stop. It's something that we've always just done. And to me, I honestly I shouldn't say believe. I know in my heart it's the right thing, because yes, my kids would get scared, and I know Bev's kids, or like kids get scared of stuff like that. But at least we as adults, and we've gone through it as children as well, we could help them understand that it's not scary, right? And so that's part of it. And that's part of reason why we decided to get together and start a podcast with Empath Sisters, is because we want people to understand that, you know, yes, there's some things that could be scary for sure, but just an awareness, right? So that's
for sure, because it's not like we didn't experience scary things.
That's right.
You know, we certainly did. And through our experiences, I feel like it has made us great teachers for our children. And we just continued to talk about it. It was normal. It's kind of like just teaching our children to do sign language, right? It was just like, it's just what we do, right? In our little world. And so, our kids had scary moments too, where they didn't understand, but it was like, okay, this is like a teaching moment of explaining to you, and they're not here to scare you, or, you know, whatever it might be. So, and they're very, I find like all of our kids are really, even your grandchildren, your granddaughters for sure, are very open and just very, so I don't know. I love it. I couldn't imagine our life any other way. I feel grateful for that. I feel blessed.
And I totally agree. I totally agree. And yes, I forgot to mention that, yes, even my grandchildren, like, from the time, for sure, our oldest granddaughter, when she was born, right away, we knew she was gifted, and she is. And she's sometimes a little scary sometimes, because it's like, whoa, where did that come from? But she's very gifted, and you know, she's 8, and you know, she's very open as well. And like when they come to visit, she'll say, Omi, can we go into your room and we can do the sticks, or we can do this, or like, she's very into it.
What are the sticks?
The sticks.
Like,
they're
actually like the water, or
she calls them the sticks, but they're actually dowsing rods, and we use them sometimes when we connect with spirit. So, and they love it. And so we will sit in my room and we'll connect, and they will ask questions, and it's so cute because they'll ask the cutest questions.
Of course.
And, you know, and they'll just ask, like, you know, if their spirit guides are here, or, you know, or where are they? And, you know, they'll show, right? The dowsing rods will guide them and stuff. And they just think it's just the greatest thing. They just love it. So, so they're very
intelligent. How intelligent of them to be like, hey, where are their spirit guides? Like at 8, I would have been like,
what?
Well, I will say it's because like they do watch, they do, you know, watch me or watch their mom, who is also, you know, intuitive. Like all of our children, like Bev's children, like they're all intuitive. Everybody is intuitive. But they're very, and then like my grandson, he's such an old soul too. And it's just, so there's just so much that it's crazy.
Cool.
That is so amazing. It's really exciting to, like, I guess, see her be so talented so young, and like just to see who and what she becomes. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really exciting to kind of get to see. Wow.
I love that. Well, so speaking of your moments that you had as kids, and even now as adults, you know, if you don't mind sharing, if it's not uncomfortable, what were some like scary moments or like a terrifying moment that you're like, I did not see that coming? Like connecting with like something that's a bit darker, or say it was like a soul that had done something pretty awful while they were living. I don't know. Like I have no idea, but I'm just like, tell us a scary story.
Oh, you mean Henry? No.
Let me go get my flashlight. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. In the middle of the night. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Turn the lights down. Oh my gosh. I'm literally trying to think of all my
I know.
I'm like, which
we
one
just
would be
actually
appropriate?
talked about one on the latest episode.
Really?
And we did.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually did. And it was one of Bev's
I just got
experiences.
anxiety again about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it already come out? Has that episode already come out?
Yes.
Yes, we just launched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it was.
And
It's called Full Circle. Something Full Circle.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Full circle. Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
sorry. It took me a minute.
That's
like,
okay.
It's like I listened to every episode. What do you mean? Like, what's scary moment? It's all coming back to me now. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was definitely like, definitely something that Bev has experienced, but I also too, because, she lived in the same town as me. And, I remember that for sure. And like even knowing then, now I should say, not then, now, like thinking back, yeah, it was scary, like, cause it was just like all this stuff happening. But now thinking about it now, it was like, wow, like we missed the ball. Like, not that we missed the ball on it. It was just something that we didn't know then. And now we do know. Right. Yeah. So to me, it's not scary anymore because it's and we're more of aware, right? We're aware of how spirits work and stuff like that too. So,
and to clarify for our followers, this is to do with that one story in your episode, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you have to go to Empath Sisters.
Yep.
Check out the episode Full Circle Moment, or was it just Full Circle?
I think it said full circle experience, or I can't remember exactly, but it's the only one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Full circle spirit experience.
Yeah. That's definitely one of my, I would say for myself, one of the biggest, longest experiences with a low vibrational spirit. Right. And so just for your listeners, of low vibrational energy to high vibrational energy, low vibrational energy will be spirits that have not crossed over.
Right.
And so they need energy, because they don't have a physical body anymore. So they need energy in order to try to stay as close to the physical world as possible. And so those are the ones that most people complain. Well, I'm just going to go back up for a second. High vibrational spirit is when they have crossed over. They're in the light, they've returned home. They feel completely different. So what I would say to somebody is, you'll know the difference of when a spirit walks into your home, you feel a different energy in your home. Something feels different. And when it's a high vibrational spirit of a loved one or anything like that, for someone who has crossed over, it doesn't feel scary. It doesn't feel like that's strange. When low vibrational energy is around you, it will literally feel like a stranger walked in your home. You will feel uncomfortable. It's just like, whoa, like you feel like someone's just invaded your space. Yeah. And they're the ones that tend to like stick around. They'll make things like happen where you're like, it creeps you out. It's not just like, oh, dad's playing with the TV. It's not like that at all. It's like, hey, what the hell? Like, this is happening. Like, what the heck? I'm not sleeping really well. Those are the ones that I tend to clear out of homes and cross over. And that's that full circle moment that I went through with that spirit. That's literally what happened. And it was the longest one that lingered around. And that was the first soul that I crossed over. Right. So that was my first experience of doing that work. So, but I've had other, that wasn't scary to me. That was just like, whoa, because we've already had so many of these experiences. So that was just like, oh my God, like, oh, and it was creepy because he was like a stranger to me. It was just like, get out of my home. Like, it just felt creepy. I didn't like it, but I definitely, I don't know if I ever shared it on our podcast about like my sleeping one, when my very first encounter with like my very first crystal I received from Archangel Michael. I'm not sure, have I shared that on one of our podcasts?
No, we have not yet. No.
So I would have to say that that will come out. And that one was the scariest experience I've ever felt on an actual soul level. Like I was consciously aware on the other side, knowing, okay, this is it. This is my soul. This thing has my actual soul. And this will be the actual end of me, not just my vessel being here. That one scared me.
No
Oh,
kidding.
gotcha.
Shelly came around.
It sounds terrifying.
And that's only
terrifying.
That's exclusive to Empath Sisters podcast.
Exactly. They're not,
We don't
guys,
need to know that information.
we're trying, and they're locking it down.
Them in
so
there.
you have
We're
to check
leading
out
them
their
in.
pod.
Yeah. Gotta follow them on social media.
All of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
they're very tight-lipped.
And
for good reason.
Like we've had obviously other experiences, but they've been very like not like
that's low vibrational.
Like
the water guy I had at my place.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
You know,
okay,
or
so tell
like,
us
that
one.
one
I can tell us one.
Kind of share.
Give us one. Give us a
Like,
good one. Yeah.
We're both just like,
all suspense. Yeah, Shelly, did you have one you wanted to share? If I can share.
Well, I was just
my
going to
water
say
one,
that,
but...
like, I remember there was this one time, like it wasn't long because I already knew that it was a low vibrational, you know, I'm going to call it entity, because I really do not believe that this was a spirit, honestly. Like it was definitely an entity. And I remember being very scared because it was similar to having like a vivid dream. I don't know if you've had them or not, but I've had this is what I thought happened, but I realized it was not a vivid dream. It really happened. So what happened was, I remember going to bed at night, and when I was sleeping, and like I used to get a lot of nightmares and things like that. And this one particular night I went to bed, and for some reason I woke up, but like I was thinking I woke up in my dream. Okay. So I was thinking I was waking up in my dream, but I actually woke up, and I was actually, this is going to freak people out.
we're here for it. We are here for it.
But I literally was levitating
That's what we're here
above
for.
my bed.
No way.
Yeah. And I went like that because I could see the bed down there, and I took a breath. And when I took that breath, I went bam, went right back down into my bed. And at that time, I remember my husband, he woke up because I hit the bed.
Yeah.
And he woke up and he was like, what's going on? And I'm like crying. I'm just bawling my eyes out because I was so scared. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even talk for a little bit. And my poor husband was like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like what? And I was like,
to me.
Yeah. And I was just like,
holy cow.
And I was trying to get like a moment, and I finally get my moment, and I finally tell him what happens. And he's like, what? Right? Because he was like, just like, what do you mean that happened? And I was like, but at the time I thought I was dreaming. So I was telling him that this was my dream. But then I remembered that next night, I was so scared to go back to bed. So that next night, I remember feeling that feeling again of that. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. And Bev knows that feeling. It's just, it's something that you would think of like is something that would just scare the living crap out of you.
Yeah.
And
just like frozen in fear.
Yeah. And I remember that night, I remember like literally just like calling out to God, to like whoever was going to listen. Whoever's out there. I'm like, I need you
Whoever's
to help
there.
me. Yeah, like get rid of this thing. And I remember having like, because our grandmother is also Catholic. So I remember her saying, like, if you ever have anything evil, you always get holy water and stuff like that. So like, I
Hey,
remember
that's a good idea.
doing it, right? And I
Wow.
never did get that back again, but I will never forget that experience. It was super scary. It was
Wow.
super, I just felt, I don't know, like even with Bev saying about like on a soul level, it almost felt like that. Like I just didn't even know how to explain it. It was just super scary.
Yeah.
And
Because you're so aware that it's not you in the physical going, I'm losing my life.
right.
For me anyway, I understand I'm a soul being in this vessel.
Mhm.
And so I know like there's more. And so for me, when I think there's more, I can be, that is who I am, is my soul being. And this is why we reincarnate and we have different bodies and we come all different times and all that. But that's just who we are, is our soul being. And so when that feels like it's being compromised, it's just, that's when it feels like it's really real.
Yeah.
That's when you on a different conscious level know there's way more to everything than what we know. And that's where you kind of, even on that level, it's almost like when we work intuitively and stuff happens and our mind just can't, like, it doesn't have an answer, it doesn't understand it because it's something that you can't really explain and it wants the answer to it. It's like that, but on a soul level, going, oh my God, this just happened to me. And it's just like, you can't even wrap your mind around it on a soul level. It's just like, that's how it feels. And it's just freaky.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, not even just like, I remember after that thinking, I don't want to ever have that again. Like, no, that feeling, you know, and that's basically when I started really saying, like, I can't think negatively, you know, or think, you know, because it can draw that brings
100%.
you know. So I really tried to change my thought pattern because I was like, I don't want that. And like, I already know too, with just even experiences with Bev or like, you know, all that kinds of stuff. I remember saying like, no, I don't want any of that. I will not work in that. I won't go there. I don't want to think like, and I really haven't had, knock on wood. I do that anyway. I'm still superstitious as well. So I will knock on wood, knock, knock. But, you know, I have not had a nightmare in probably since then. Like I have not, because of my, no, not going to go there.
A very good spiritual boundary and a good lesson to, like, you're right. It can, that the darkness or like the low vibrations can feed off of that negativity. And you wonder 100%. Why there's some, you know, if you think about like a troubled relationship or like, you know, a poor family home, do you know what I mean? Like that, it's toxic for more than one reason. A lot of these reasons, you know? Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind, is you are what you think in a lot of terms. So
Absolutely.
Wow. And I also feel like in Shelly saying like she hasn't had a lot of like, even some of the things that she knows she doesn't want to experience them. I know for myself in my journey, I have experienced many things. And I know that I have shared a lot of these with Shelly where I'm just like, and she's like, no, I don't want that. And I'm like, yep, set that boundary, you know, because you don't. And this is also something that I do teach my students too. You know, I'm just like, set your boundaries. There's way more out there than you even know. And I want you to know, because I want you to have an experience like that. Nobody I'm sure you don't want to work in that realm.
No,
you don't want to be around it.
You've had to go through it to teach others, and that's why you're a mentor.
Literally, that scary one that we will talk about eventually. That one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it is another beautiful full circle moment, because that was the first encounter I had with Archangel Michael, like full encounter. And so that was, and I had he taught me a very important spiritual law at that time. And that is also what I carry in my practice as well. And so all for the greater good. So, you know, so when you were talking about your story, actually, Shelly, it reminded me of more stories.
I know.
Okay, well,
Obviously.
okay, well, we'd like to hear a story from you
reminded
as
me-
well.
It reminded me of one story of yours.
Yeah.
Remember the door? The closet door.
Oh my goodness.
They're just
Oh
signing.
yeah. Was that when I was
They're
pregnant?
doing some sign language to not tell us. They don't want
Oh
to give
my
it away.
gosh.
Exactly.
I could tell that one too.
You guys are adorable. Yeah,
Sorry,
we can do that too.
No, while they're
Just-
doing this, like
Yeah.
we can do that too. No, Brittany. I honestly no, I've always said I
Teasing.
know
I'm just teasing.
total sidebar. I like my dream, like my superpower that I want so bad is to like know all the languages. That is like what I
Right?
want. That would be what I
Fair.
want. I want to walk into a room and just be like blah blah blah, you know, in their mother tongue. And
I
sign is
know.
one of those too. I do a little bit with my son and my daughter, but like
Aw.
I just want it's so sick. I crave that. I crave
So
to know, but no, but you know what I mean? Like I wish I could just fluently. So it's beautiful what you guys are doing. Anyways,
Sorry.
And
I
we're,
just-
we're only
I didn't
teasing because
wanna-
they didn't want to give it away.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
they're hiding from us. So they're like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, it's so beautiful. They're secrets.
No, just
That's
tell
how
us.
us sisters tell our secrets is
That's
by using
perfect.
Love
sign
it.
language.
I love it. And
perfect.
Jessica and I, it's just like a,
And
Mhm.
I'm like,
that's our sign language.
Well,
Yeah.
I would have said it, but I thought I better not in case
No.
we do an episode.
No,
totally.
I think
Challenges.
maybe you
That
guys
is-
need to do like a bunch of episodes with these stories because
Oh,
they're
oh,
pretty
we do.
I was gonna
amazing.
say,
Yeah,
you could
we
literally
have-
do a series of this, and that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a true crime and like
Me
and
too. I'm a
Morbidity
total
listener,
true crime junkie.
right? Like, but have you listened to like Morbid or like well, Crime Junkie? But like all of that, I
Yeah.
love that. I'm
When
so
you guys
interested
have
in all
actual
that.
authentic stories that have happened to you, you guys
Exactly.
could trail off and be like, boom,
It
here's
could be
our
a
new
story time.
side genre.
Well, that was the story I thought of, was my experience working with a spirit because I watched one of those shows, one of those those true
Ooh,
crime
okay.
documentaries.
Oh,
I
Open the
watched one of
door.
those. And-
Ooh.
no, not the door. This was
Not the door.
this is not a different
This is
one.
another one.
Okay.
because Shelly had said she made that face of like, when it just like, it just scared you. And it
Yeah.
literally, I laughed because I remember going to work after that and I walked in and they went, "Whoa, Bev, are you okay? You look like you literally saw a ghost." And I was like, I know, right? Because I do see spirits, but
You're like-
this experience I just had,
How'd you know?
it scared me that bad where I was like,
Wow.
I was just like, oh my God. it just
Yeah.
scared me.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know which one I should share.
Well, share
Mm.
one. I mean,
Yeah, just
there's
share
so
whichever
many.
one. And then that way
There's-
you guys can keep all the other ones. Oh, they're just signing again. If
They're
everyone
signing
is
again.
on YouTube, you can watch this, but if you're that's why it's quiet.
Exactly.
That's why
Clarifying.
I'm the
We're filling in the
I'm
gap.
filler here.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
So,
okay.
Okay.
They seem
The story
excited. Okay.
I will
here we go.
share.
Okay.
Only if you're comfortable.
Exactly.
sharing that
Yeah.
one,
Oh
Bev.
yeah. Oh my
Totally.
gosh.
Totally.
Yes,
It was
just because
just,
you took a breath, so I know when you
I
do
know.
that. So
That means you
I
mean
know
It's
most people know when
honestly-
I breathe.
Full respect. You do not
no.
have do what you're capable
no,
of, but
yeah.
do not push your boundary.
yeah, we're not here to force
No.
anything. Don't- no.
Totally. Yeah. I know my room is getting really dark. Yeah. Can you see
And
that?
it's okay, guys.
Is
I
it
live in
okay?
the dark.
I can turn the light on. I just,
I
getting
can
really
turn
dark.
mine off and then we can all be in the same room.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does anyone else want a candle? Here, got
I
some
know I
light.
should light
Can
a
you see me
candle.
much better? Not really.
So my story
really.
was when I was pregnant with my youngest son and we were just living in a rental at the time, and we had got another house and it was being renovated. And so we were just living in this rental at the time. And I don't remember how far along I was. I don't know, maybe 7 months. I feel like maybe
I feel
6,
like
7
it was
months,
like, yeah, it
I don't know, it
like
was-
in your middle.
middle to like third trimester.
Mhm.
And I had this dream that in my we'll call it a dream. It's just way easier to call it a dream than try
Yes.
to explain all the different things. So we'll call it a dream. I was in my dream and my Baba had come to me and she had told me, "I'm here to warn you, you need to get your son baptized. You need to get your baby baptized." And she was literally warning me and said, like, someone's after your baby.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh my God, okay. Like, so I wake up and I'm thinking, well, that's really freaky. And like my older two are baptized. And so I was like, okay, like, I don't know, like, do you believe that? Like, you know, you kind of like try to rationalize it. And
Were you
whatever.
thinking of planning to baptize him anyway, or no?
I don't know if I can recall now what I felt or was thinking then or going through that process, but probably would have been something that would have come into my awareness of like, well, the other two are, and, you know, so therefore would I, you know, also baptize my youngest. So it was just after that, a little while after that, I went to bed with my husband, and I was wherever I was going. And all of a sudden, I don't recall where I was, like if I was dreaming, like where I was or any of that stuff. I just remember laying in bed and I was being choked. Like in the physical, but nobody was there. And I was being choked and choked and choked like this. And I was gasping and gasping. And my husband had heard kind of like my struggle and that I was gasping and like, what the heck, right? And so he wakes up, he turns over, and it's almost like I was aware, but I couldn't get out of it. That's what it felt like. And he was like, honey, 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 you know, like shaking my arm, touching me, like trying to wake me up. And I'm like struggling.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, oh my God, she's choking. Like, that's what he's thinking. I'm choking.
Yeah.
So he like picks me up, like, you know, like kind of like, get up, honey. Right. And then all of a sudden it was just like it just stopped, and no word of a lie. I was like, oh my God, like I knew I was being strangled to death. And I literally had handprints on my neck.
Wow.
It was
That's
crazy.
terrifying.
So it freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, somebody was literally trying to kill me in my sleep, and it would have killed my baby for sure.
100%. Yeah.
Or whatever would have happened. So
yeah,
that was so crazy.
oh my gosh.
Do you want to share the door one? That one I really wanted to share.
Well, I don't remember all of it. I just remember you calling me, and again, same kind of thing. I came over.
Yes.
So I don't really remember exactly how it happened. I just remember showing up, and you were like, look at this. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
what did you see?
Yeah. Well, I saw a face inside. So like, you know how like they're older homes, and they all had like the wooden closet doors, right? Where the bifolds, right?
Yeah.
And so what I saw was I actually saw a face. It was like literally burned.
Oh, wow.
You know, like the wood burning.
Yeah.
That stuff. That
it was literally burned into one of the bifold doors.
Yeah. And was never there before.
No.
Oh.
And
like wake up and it's like,
yeah.
And this was shortly after you were attacked.
Or was this like,
was this the same house? I think it was the same house. I can't remember which house, but I'm already getting the heebie-jeebies.
I think that was when I was in Edmonton and living with Mom. Is that still then? Or was I living in Redwood?
I feel like you were living in Saskatoon. I feel like it was one of the houses there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still that house.
That's what I thought. I was like, no, I don't feel like it was
in
the
Alberta.
Because I was away. Like I wasn't there. And I remember coming.
It was that
remember?
House. Because our Baba, I have to tell you, she was like, our Baba ran away with the gypsies when she was young. And she also did like tea leaf readings, and our family would say like if she had all these plants, and when she got sick and she'd go to the hospital or something, they'd all die, like they'd all droop, and when she'd come home, they'd all come back to life. And she was obsessed with Jesus, like even though she was like very much into the spiritual world like us, she very much like it's like Jesus, Baba.
Yeah.
You know,
wow.
And she had this big picture of Jesus, and I think Mother Mary over her bed.
Yeah.
And I only know that because she kept showing it to me 2 years ago. She kept coming to me and showing me, and I had to talk to my grandma had the picture of Jesus over her dresser, and I had no idea. And I was like, oh my God, it was just so crazy. So she loves Jesus. And
she
so
does.
When she came to warn me, and I had this strangling, and then this is when I had woken up, and because the closet doors were at the end of my bed.
Yeah, they were.
They got the closet doors right there. And
Totally.
in the wood panel, there's a burned face of Jesus.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, way. Yeah.
Wow.
Not even kidding. Right.
And that's
So like
that's
a face. There was a bad face and a good face, or is this just
No,
Jesus?
It was just the face of
it was
Jesus.
just
so it wasn't
wow.
Okay, I was like, whose face? Wow. Oh my gosh.
So then did you end
sorry.
up getting your little guy baptized?
yeah, pretty much.
Like, so
Basically born in
did you just like throw holy water over top of your prego belly? Like, how did this all go?
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
You're like, guess we're doing today. Like, just like done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're like,
And I won't forget that one either,
Wow.
because like
Never.
I did not live in Saskatchewan. I live in Alberta, and Bev told me about the story. I remember all of it, and I was just so shocked. And I remember coming to Saskatoon to visit, and she was like, I was like, I gotta see this. Like, this is just like crazy. Right? So, she shows me, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like to this day, I wish we took pictures.
I know.
Like,
I was
why
thinking,
did we
like,
do that?
why
Like,
don't we do these things? But
are you still
That's
connected with that house?
it was
at all?
just like things we dealt with. So it wasn't like,
Right?
oh, like we're gonna make
Fair.
a book someday and share all this stuff, right? Let's take pictures. Like we just like, oh, this is what happened.
It was a Thursday.
Do you guys still have that house?
Yeah.
Is it still like a part of your family in any way?
No.
It's in
No, okay.
Saskatoon.
Yeah, it is in Saskatoon. No,
We should go up to their door and be like, hey,
Like, would you mind? Do you see the closet doors? The original.
Jesus?
Yeah, are they still here?
does
I just
Jesus
wanna take
have a
look at it.
picture here?
You notice the face of Jesus.
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
closet doors.
They
I'm
probably
like,
thought whoever lived there before was obsessed with Jesus and just did this artwork. Probably.
Just
Yeah.
in one closet door. Just in the
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
closet door.
just the one.
Exactly.
That
In the bedroom too.
Okay, so
In the
I gotta
bedroom.
say,
Who's gonna
I have a side note here quick.
Sure.
This hasn't sorry, my words are like super lost today. This
That's okay.
hasn't happened yet in anything Jessica and I have done. But Bev, while you were talking about your story, the whole time you kept going in and out of focus, but then there was also an orb that like went up as you were talking about your Bob at first. And I was like,
what's up, Bubba?
like,
Hey,
that's
girly.
like floating.
They're like,
So-
I love
she's
that.
like, they're gonna talk about me. Gotta make my appearance.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm here too. I love that.
Literally.
I didn't even notice that. I was like so enthralled.
I was just
I-
like, I need to make a
Ooh,
note of
I
this.
can't wait to watch the
I
replay.
know,
you're gonna have to
right?
watch.
Yeah. I was gonna ask Bev, that was like a attack, right? Let's call it what it was. Like you were being attacked by something. Is
Definitely.
there any way for you to like determine what or who could have caused that? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there any way that you can not ward that off? We know that, protection and, we can do all of that, but is there any way to determine how? Like, has your Bob ever led you to more answers as to why or who would have been sending you that?
I just if I feel like the best way I could explain it in like probably what would be in my Bubba's terms could be God and the devil, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how they look at those things of like
They
Yeah.
do.
it's the good and the evil. And
Yeah.
so I feel very much like, because the story that I didn't share, that we will share, that scary one to my soul level, that is what I would call the other side. Not like the good side, but like
Right.
the darker entity stuff. If I had to call a demon, that's what I would feel comfortable saying, that's what it felt like that would be.
gonna
She
quickly
would be
sage
warning
in
me of
here.
that. It's holy water at that point.
Yes.
Let it- so would you guys ever like in certain, I would say more like the horror movie stuff. Oh my God. Sorry. Jessica's frozen.
I'm sorry.
No, but Jessica, you froze.
My
I don't know if
like-
you can see this. Jessica, watch my face. No, watch my face. You're like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
That's just how I talk, guys. So I love that.
I love it so much.
We
And
love
Shelly
our
and I
technical
cover our mouths a
difficulties.
lot because
Oh
we
my
hate
God.
showing our gums when
Oh,
we
really?
smell. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we do this all the time.
Or
Oh,
like
that's
this.
so funny.
YouTube, we're just like, if we have to laugh really hard, we throw our heads back and we cover
Oh
our
my
mouths.
You guys are so funny. We just let her roll. Let her roll.
I just go,
Let the gums fly.
let them fly. Welcome to the podcast.
Exactly.
Literally.
So different, I would say like horror themed movies that I've seen, when they talk about another side, not not a positive side, they call it like the nothing or like the ether or whatever. Is that something similar that you would name it, or would you just say the other side?
I don't. I actually just say low, like either like an entity or low vibrational. That's what mostly I say. I don't really say like,
Just don't call it a name at all.
Yeah.
not really. No, I don't. I don't know about Bev, but for myself,
Yeah. I just say through my experiences, I just know that I don't work in that realm.
right.
Mhm.
That's what I say too.
That's fair.
And so I'll just say, I don't work in that realm. I never want to work in that realm. The only reason why I work in that realm will be if I have to do like a house clearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But my team
Yeah.
comes with me. Michael's
Mhm.
with me. This is the only
Mhm.
reason why I would do a house clearing. Because I have also through my life have had so many attached to me, and I bring them home.
Mhm.
It was like I
Yes,
brought a
she
new
has.
friend home all the time. It'd be like, Shelly'd be like,
Yes.
oh, who did you bring now? You know,
Oh,
it's just like,
And it wasn't even just that. Sometimes I'd come to visit and she wouldn't even know, because she would know, but she wouldn't know. She would think that they're gone. So,
Yeah.
but when I would show up, it's like what Bev said in the very beginning of almost this podcast. You get that feeling of, somebody's in your home that you don't know.
Mhm.
And
it
it's that
doesn't belong.
oh,
Yeah. Wow.
she's had it many times, and I'll come in and I'll
Mhm.
say, oh God, Bev. And she's like, I know. And I'm like, Kate, what am I gonna do?
Get rid of it.
Right.
And at that time, it was like white candles, holy
Yeah, like we
water.
didn't-
Like that's how we
Yeah.
cleared houses. We weren't saging or
No.
anything. Like we weren't using any smudging
No.
tools.
So
So
we
that's
learned.
what we
Yeah.
learned through, I feel like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
our grandmother and probably what she learned from Baba. I'm not sure, but that's just what was called to her. And
Mhm.
she shared that with me, and especially with the encounter that we had in our episode that I shared with that
Yeah.
Mhm.
spirit. So that
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it worked. So we just
Yeah.
kind
I
of
have a
continued to use that.
yeah.
Wow.
I love that. I have a quick question for you. Well, maybe it's probably not gonna be quick. Let's be real. But because you guys obviously have quite a religious, well, no, that's kind of how we roll, and that's totally fine. You guys have quite a religious background, in terms of Catholicism, it sounds like, or do you know what I mean? Like we're very Jesus entwined, and there's a God and all that. I which I totally respect. How do you feel like that comes into your spirituality now? Like, are you, I mean, because we obviously, we're very intertwined, I think, in every part of our lives, but I think people get confused when they hear, oh, we're spiritual, or we're this or we're that.
Maybe they instantly think
I think it
paganism.
scares people to think that,
Yeah.
I think that scares people that this world actually includes these people, right?
Yeah.
What is your take on that? What would you, I guess, because I guess for those who are scared or maybe more inquisitive for that, do you have any advice or any, like, not description, but do you know what I mean? Anything to ease people's minds on that?
Well,
I know what I'd like to say.
Or
so
not.
You go ahead.
That's okay.
Shelly.
well, it's a very touchy subject.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
I find it's very difficult to talk about that because
Yeah.
obviously everybody has a different opinion
Mhm.
on how or what is spiritual, what is Christianity, what is,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. Okay. So for myself, well, I shouldn't even say for myself, like Bev and I, yes, we believe in God. but at the same time, like we also grew up in a religion that was very different than most people, right? Like, you know, we were Jehovah's Witnesses for a long, long time. And even though our family was Catholic, you know, on our dad's side and our mom's side, it was, I'm sure it was just Christianity, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but we grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses. So we really, like Bev even said in the beginning of this podcast, like we were sheltered. We really just followed what we were told by our parents. And this is where I'm going to bring up my own experience, and people can totally say what they want to say, but you know,
this is a place of respect and common. So feel free to share as much as you want. And we expect,
like as a child, I remember, I shouldn't say as a child, I remember even as a teenager, like when I got into my, you know, 12, 13, 14 years of age, I remember begging my dad, can I just please go to different churches? Because I really wanted to learn other religions, because everybody was, even like my friends, right? My friends were going to different places. And I was like, well, how come we're Jehovah's Witnesses? And like our family's Catholic. And so I was very curious. And so thankfully my dad said yes. And he said, okay, I will allow you to, because that was a strict thing too, because he didn't want us to be like, you know, checking out other religions. So I did. I went to a lot of different religions and different, like all my friends' place, like where they went. And I went with my grandma. I went to all these things. And to tell you the truth, I felt they were all the same. They just all changed it to different names, different way of thinking, of course, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in, you know, celebrating things and you know, and then there's Catholicism that believe in sin and, you know, but like the majority of the base of it is the same.
Right.
But for myself, do I practice religion? I do not. I do believe that you can believe in whatever you would like in your own home. It doesn't have to be in a temple or a church or a hall or whatever you want to, but that's okay if you do. I'm totally fine with whatever you like. Any of the listeners are listening, you that's your choice and that's fine, but this is mine. And I really believe that we're all the same, and we come the same and we leave the same. So I don't see anything other than different than that. I don't know if that really answered the question, but at the same time, like, I just feel like that's just how I am. And I do believe that there is a higher power. I believe that there is the universe and all that stuff that works together to make this our experience here.
Absolutely.
That's my take.
It's beautifully said.
That's great.
Yeah. It's exactly it is. And that's what we're trying to promote. Like, it's not as scary as some people think. They get very freaked out by something that's not deemed normal in their homes or, you know, in their communities. So no, I appreciate you. Yeah. Very beautifully spoken. Thank you for sharing.
And I've had many friends that are very, you know, in their religion, in their faith, and that's wonderful. That's okay. Like, it doesn't bother me. But what I will say is I get a little disappointed in when they find out that I am not. And then it kind of breaks that barrier, and then we're not on the same page, right?
Which is fine. That they can't be as supportive to you as you are to them.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we could also like put that in other things, like, not to throw politics out there, but the vaccine.
Like, totally. You're right.
You can support everybody with their own decisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The clean way of saying that is that the journey with that person was supposed to last this long, and then that time is expired, and that's just fine, right?
Absolutely. So and everybody, and that's why I said earlier before I was talking about this, is it really doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. It's whatever you choose. It's your life, your journey, your path, your whatever. And it's mine too. So it's okay. You know, it really doesn't matter to me. But for myself, I do believe, yes, there is a higher power and that there is God. And do I sometimes call it God? Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm just putting it out in the universe, or I'm just putting it out there, or whatever. But but I just want people to know that it's not, it's okay to believe what you believe.
Totally.
Yeah.
Everybody has that right. So
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sparking curiosities here. And I think that is like essential knowledge. Thank you again.
I love it.
That was so good.
and
Miss Bev, did you have something to contribute? Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep cutting you off.
Oh, it's all good. For myself, I have experienced kind of, you know, religions or beliefs and things in my own journey, in my own way. Of course, growing up Jehovah's Witness, as Shelly had mentioned. And I remember as a kid going to what they call assemblies. And that would be going to like their church and having, they called them meetings, and you'd go to the assembly. And I was young for sure when we were in, you know, going to these assemblies and stuff. But I just knew it was almost like what I did here, it didn't resonate with me. I was just like, I just felt like I was like, this is just something we have to do, but none of it spoke to me.
Totally.
I didn't feel connected to it. It was just like, I couldn't, as a child, I couldn't understand it. And I didn't agree with it in that way. And maybe I didn't feel connected to it because in that religion, they don't celebrate holidays.
Right.
They don't celebrate Christmas, birthdays. You can't believe in the tooth fairy. Like, you can't have birthday parties. This is all.
We couldn't even sing "Oh Canada." Like, it was.
You can't sing Christmas carols. I had to sit in the classroom when everybody would gather. We couldn't participate in Christmas concerts. We didn't have a Christmas tree. We couldn't go trick or treating. We couldn't go to a birthday party. We couldn't go to dances. We weren't allowed anything because they deem it as devil's work. And so I didn't understand why, when these are happy things, why is this so evil? I couldn't understand it. And everybody went to school with got to do these things, and they weren't bad people. So I was like, so I just felt like it was just like, no, I don't want to be that. Like that's just not me. And it just didn't work for me. And our mom was so great. You know, our dad didn't come to every meeting, because our father, as well, in our podcast, we do share, our father was an alcoholic, and there's many times that he would say, well, I can't go because, you know, I've basically sinned, or, you know, I'm drinking. So he would stay home and he would make our mom take us. But we lived out of town. And so we would drive in for these meetings, and my mom was so great that, you know, she wasn't in alignment with it either. It was just something that was like forced upon. I feel like it was just part of that control. And our mom would take us bowling, and she would take us swimming, and like we would go to meetings, but she was smart enough to make the odd appearance so that if anybody had ever said, oh, we haven't seen your family here, my dad would be like, what? So so it was.
What do you mean?
Great
We go every week. Yeah. So that also showed me like, oh, like, you know, looking up to my mother is like, okay, well, she also doesn't want to go. So like that was kind of comforting in that way.
No kidding.
And then when we left our
but
dad,
it's not something that you as a child. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. And so then kind of we left our dad, we moved to another province, and kind of through that it was nothing. My mom was like, never again, we're going back. Like, so that was done. And then my journey took me, as most people know in our podcast, in grade 8, I had come back to Saskatoon to live with my grandmother, who is Roman Catholic, but it's quite spiritual as well. But she can be really in her faith sometimes. So it's like, I feel like she's like back and forth, which is fine. And so I lived with her. And at that point in my life, I felt really lost. I was by myself. I was young, you know, my family was split apart. And for me, our whole family on our dad's side is Roman Catholic, and they always had Christmas. They always had family gatherings. They went to mass, you know, they did these things. And at that point in my life, I felt like I wanted to belong.
Yeah.
I felt like an outcast a lot of my life at that point. And I was just like, you know, I want to belong with my family. I'm here. And so I took the classes and I got baptized Roman Catholic.
Wow.
And my grandma was so proud. And, and then I started going like church every Sunday with my grandma. And I know for myself, when I would go to church, it would be so interesting. I would sit there and I'd be listening to the priest, and he would go over his, I think they call them, I don't know, sermons or what, I don't know what they call them anymore. And I would hear Spirit talk to me and say, that's not God's word.
Yeah.
That's man's word.
That's right.
Oh,
Or it'd be
wow.
like, it was just like, what? But when I heard that, it was like a knowing, like I knew that. It was like, oh, like it almost like it confirmed it for me. And that's kind of how it works for me when I work anyway, of when I hear stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a knowing. It's just like, I don't know how I know, but I know it to be so true to me. And I believe in a God. I always have. I felt like I had an encounter of meeting with God, for those who don't know my story, of showing me my purpose in this lifetime. And it is what I'm doing right now in my practice. And so that is always something that has stuck with me, that I'm like, I know there is this person I have met. And so it's something I've always felt connected to. It's something I believed in. I've always learned prayers. I've always believed in angels at the time, until I had started seeing angels. And so there was so much of that religion that spoke to me. And it is definitely like, I feel like very like it mingles, you know, my spirituality and that part of it. But I do pray. I don't go to church, because I do know if God is everywhere, if that's how we looked at it, or the divine or source, because like Shelly said, the basis of it is they're all literally the same. They all believe in one thing,
Right.
Yeah.
one power, whatever it is. And I believe in that too. And so that is what I pray to. And I only want to work in that realm, because it is good work and it is of the light. And I have been protected and I have had all these amazing experiences. And so that is where I feel drawn. So yes, I don't go to church, but I feel very drawn to that part of that religion in my spirituality. And that's kind of where that lies for me. And
I love that.
Anybody can believe whatever they want to believe. And that is just my experience and part of my journey. And like Shelly says, we all arrive the same. We're all a soul being. We arrive the same and we leave the same. We are just literally here having an experience, going on a journey. And some people want to experience what it's like being fully immersed in a certain religion, or going through this, or dabbling in that, or being pagan, or whatever it is, or being this colored skin, or this culture, or whatever. And it's like, that's what frustrates me in our world today, is that I just wish that we were all a lot nicer to each other, because we were all doing the same thing. We were all a soul being having a human experience. And why are we not, like, it's all hard for everybody. So why are we not just a little bit kinder to each other? We're all doing our best, you know? But that's what happens when we start to expand our consciousness, is that when we move into higher levels of consciousness, which we could call 3D, 4D, 5D, is that we have this greater understanding or knowledge of that we are all connected. And so, you know, it's as you start to strip away the blinders, you see that, and you start to really open your heart and connect with people. And it's like, you just do you're on your journey. Like, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. You know, like I love you for you. And, you know, good luck on your journey. Right. Like for anybody.
That's exactly.
Everyone just needs a reminder.
Nobody's story is the same. You're right.
That's it.
No,
exactly.
That's it.
And we're all not the same, and we're not supposed to be.
No,
like,
we're
how
not
boring
supposed
would that be?
Exactly.
There's no Stepford Wives situation happening here. Everyone is different for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my
that's so
gosh.
good. Thank you
I love
so
that.
much.
Great question, Jess, too.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
I know,
Like,
so
I was
I
like,
know
just
that
a
we could
quick
be
one.
talking, just a quick question. So I know that we would be talking for the next 5 hours if we could, because we're just, I love it. I love how we all connect so well. And this could be hopefully the start of maybe
Maybe
many
first part
episodes
of
together.
many. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was
so
just about
now-
to say, this might be a part 2.
Yeah. I think we're going to need
for
more.
part 2 eventually. And that would be
Totally.
amazing.
I love that.
So
Yeah.
we'd like to kind of move forward into our card pull of the week here. So Bev has offered to be able to ground herself and receive a download of the week, if that's still comfortable for you, Bev. And then the three of us are hoping to pull a card for a message for our listeners, and we'll go from there. So Bev, do you want to go first, or do you want us to go first? Whatever you guys want.
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me either.
And don't
Okay,
ask
so
me.
since you guys are all
Okay.
too patient, I will go first. I just pulled this.
Okay.
I was like, since
Sounds
everyone's
good.
too passive, I'm gonna do it.
I froze, to be fair, but it's all good. We'll give you a good warm up and you can kind of see how we do it. It's all good.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so the deck that I chose from is one of my favorites, Kyle Gray.
Kyle
I'm
Gray.
so sorry if you
Nice.
Angels and
Love it.
Ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Just been so in love with this deck lately. I love it. Perfect. And I have pulled the Warrior. Be fearless and stand strong.
Love it.
I love that card.
That's beautiful.
Powerful.
Very.
I
But
just
like,
felt it like come in. It was just like slam.
Right?
bam.
Yeah.
Like
That
Yeah.
felt really
here.
good.
That's
gonna
you're
just-
right. I got like for those, I mean, because I'm like a feeler. That's my Claire is like my feeliness, and it was like fully like it is, like a
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, a proudness to it. Anyway, sorry.
Which is, and so this is actually pretty amazing because I was just, oh man, I was literally just talking to somebody about fear, like literally in the last like 24 hours, but now I don't remember who. Oh no, I do know. It was my friend. She's having a baby. Anyways, so
You know, just that.
she's like, I'm afraid. I was like, if you weren't afraid, it wouldn't be worth it. And like part of this is don't back down, make your opinions heard, don't settle for second best. And if you're experiencing fear at this time, know that means whatever is going on is important to you.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I love
Like
that.
Absolutely.
I
And how
really
fitting,
like that.
how fitting
Yeah.
for the full moon yesterday in Capricorn,
Right?
where we
Yes.
are releasing deep rooted
Yes.
fears,
Yeah.
lineage, ancestry stuff, like all this like
Exactly.
ancestor stuff, just like,
Oh.
and I love that card,
Yeah.
like be a warrior.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I really like that card. Well, it's funny
Yeah.
like that you mentioned the full moon yesterday. So Jessica already knows this because she gets a daily play-by-play of my life.
Okay.
And so I don't know what it is about full moons, but they always kick my ass. Like new moon, no problem. But
Yeah.
full moons come around and they're just like, hey, we're
Hey.
back, Brent. And so yesterday, not only did I back my car into my front porch, but then I also tripped over this like dog bed right here. And that door was open. I tripped over it. And I like, I don't know what happened, but both my shoulders got involved and my hand and my wrist. And now everything hurts today. But I like sat there on the dog bed and I was like, couldn't even cry. Okay,
Oh,
sure.
Today's not the day. Yeah.
Not
that's so
today.
funny.
I
Yeah.
like
Aw.
staged, I
Yeah.
cleared, and I was like, whatever it's supposed to happen, just like let it happen.
Yeah.
Went to bed early. But full
Yeah.
moons and I are just like, dang
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I hear
Again.
ya.
Yeah, I think my card I just pulled as well. So I pull from my Animal Spirit deck by Kim Krans. I'm a fangirl. I love her. I love her artwork. I love everything. So I pulled the Stingray. I don't know if you can get I don't know if it's there it is.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
So nice. So developing confidence, sense of self, or spine. The stingray represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what the choice is made, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, as a force of dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. So when we're in balance, we're eager and we want to grow. When we're out of balance, we blame others or we just quit. And then to bring into balance, move through the discomfort. So just like Brittany said with Mars, it's like, I mean, with her friend who had a baby, it was sorry, I said her name. She didn't want to be on here.
We love you.
I love you.
So sorry.
I thought you said Mars. So
Yeah, there you
go
go.
with the planet Mars.
It was Mars.
Anyone that knows us knows who it
name.
is, so it's okay. She'll forget.
Exactly. But right, it's like you have to go through the most uncomfortable moments. Life happens in the uncomfortable, and I think that's how we grow developmentally. So, anyways, yeah. Aha.
Beautiful.
Stingray. Love it.
Amazing. Jessica, you didn't want me to
Oh
find
wait,
that
I don't know if
one.
you want to look up the stingray, but I was gonna see you should look up squirrel
I
in
know,
your
I
animal.
did, but why squirrel?
Yeah.
Why squirrel?
Because we squirrel all the time. That's what these ladies
Oh.
do. It's
I
the
was
best
like, you
thing.
didn't pull that card. Okay.
Okay. Stingray.
So
But I was like, I don't have
Stingray. I don't have Stingray because
Okay.
Bev has the
Well,
big
that's-
book of everything.
I do.
Oh,
I have the big book right here, actually.
Do you?
Yep.
Do you? Oh, see, this is why we're
Oh my
connected,
gosh.
folks. This is it. This is why.
I actually saw an animal today. It freaked me out, and I should read that one today.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'd love all
So
of
what
that.
was that? The stingray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do squirrel really quick here, even though.
Okay, I'm gonna grab mine just so I can read mine. It'll be one
Okay.
second. So
Okay.
you guys continue.
Okay. So basically, the squirrel that means the most to us right now is you're actively and aggressively pursuing your goals. You need to balance this pursuit with more socializing and play.
Mm.
So yeah, basically, dead on.
All right. I'm just looking in the big book and I do not see stingray.
Fair enough.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it does not have in here. It just has starfish or stork.
Oh,
See,
interesting.
But it does have squirrel.
See? Yeah, right. Okay, I'm gonna look up. I'm just gonna Google it. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm doing it too. It's all good.
Oh, okay. What?
Oh, no, go ahead. You do your thing. You do your thing.
Okay, so the stingray, it symbolizes many. Okay, so hold on, let me just think here. That does not make sense. It's okay. So the stingray speaks about sensitivity and the need to blend into your environment, create peace and harmony.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. That's
okay.
fair.
So Shelly, what card did you pull?
Okay. Well, the card that I pulled is from
And
a
which
new
deck?
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a new deck that I bought, and I don't know. It literally reminded me, like, I love trees. Like, trees are my thing.
Yeah.
And I saw this deck, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have this deck. So
Show
I got
us.
this deck, and it's called, I think it's backwards, but
The
it
Sacred
is
Forest.
the Sacred Forest
Ooh.
Oracle deck by
Oh,
So beautiful.
yeah, Denise N. I hope I said that right, but it's EINN in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
and
sure
it's-
that's not an L?
It looks like an L.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is. I'm so sorry. It's Lynn. I was like, Lynn.
I was like, I don't know. You're there. You know.
Yeah.
I said it's an E. Just kidding. No,
Just
it's,
like
it's
an
an
E.
L.
It's no Denise Lynn.
It's an
Cool.
L.
Yeah, it's okay because I talk to you how often, Shelly, and I was just like, and I forgot her
Shelly
last
Green.
name.
What's your name?
Shelly?
I know, right?
You know what?
Yeah,
That's
so
okay. When
this is a new deck. So
Awesome.
I literally have just, like, I haven't even really played with it yet, really.
Oh.
But I
We get an
shuffled.
exclusive first.
Yeah, well, sort of. I have like a couple out there, but
Awesome.
I haven't really like played with it.
Mhm.
But I did shuffle while you guys were talking, and I just wanted to. I just asked, what does the listeners need to know today?
Yeah. Totally.
And the card that came out, it is very beautiful, and it's like totally fitting because it's a tree.
This is true.
It's
Strength.
got a little door on
Love
it, and
it.
it's strength, and it's an ancient oak spirit.
Love it.
Okay,
Love it.
so it is super beautiful.
Wow.
And I'm going to read in the book because I really don't know it yet.
No problem.
That's okay.
And so the spirit of the ancient oak tree says, "You are wise and strong beyond measure. Stand firm and rooted where you are. Speak your truth. You are intuitively guided in the right direction."
Nice. I love it.
So
Yes,
fitting.
right?
I love
Very
that.
fitting.
Yeah.
So I thought it was perfect. And like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just so beautiful tree.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
course.
beautiful. It's
Pretty.
gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
it's like the
You
same.
pulled the card that's on the book.
Right?
Oh, we did.
I know. So it's like,
Like,
what?
wait. I was like, wait, did she hold up the card or did she hold up the book? I was like, no.
I
That-
held
that-
up both.
So that's like fantastic. Oh my
Right?
gosh.
What a
And
sign. What a
look how
sign.
pretty the backs are. Like,
Oh yeah,
so
that's
gorgeous.
nice.
And that's an oracle deck, right? That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes. So that is what you guys need to hear from
I
me.
love it, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect. Bev, you
Yeah.
said that you've seen a certain animal today, and then of course, if you
Oh,
have a
right.
message.
Yeah, like
Wow,
I
so-
never see this animal, and I was driving today and it'll probably freak my sister out because it's not her favorite animal.
No.
I'm sorry. So
Am I going to
hopefully-
have a nightmare about
I know,
it
I was just gonna
tonight?
say, I'm really hoping Shelly's not gonna have a nightmare.
Earmuffs,
because
earmuffs.
We can't even bring up the name because literally she'll have a nightmare. And
God.
it's
No.
it's just a fear of hers.
Just
But
go
It's
like
just a
this.
fear.
Just unplug. Okay.
just-
I already know what she's going to say. It's like,
she already knows now. That's why
I
I
know
don't
what
even
it
have to
is.
say it. She knows. But so I was driving today into the city, and this has never happened to me all the years I've been driving my entire life. So
Mhm.
literally I'm like driving, there's this little black bird that's sitting on the side of the highway, and I'm like, oh, okay. And as I'm coming up, it starts to like, kind of like fly up, like move. And
Okay.
all of a sudden this little mouse, and then was like, and then like ran back, and the bird, was waiting
Grab
for
it.
this mouse clearly. And the mouse
Yeah.
probably thought there's a car coming, I'm gonna make a break for it. And then was like,
Yeah.
oh crap, I'm gonna die. And then just
Mhm.
I'm gonna die
I'm
anyway.
gonna die by the car. So I was
Exactly.
like, oh, and literally it was like, ding, mental note, you need to look up the mouse. I never had an encounter, so thankfully, because they're definitely not my favorite either. So
Fair.
I haven't actually looked it up today. So it was just like
Oh.
Spirit just reminded me, like, you can share that message. So this message is for me personally today, and maybe for somebody else that listens to this, it might
Yeah.
be for you as well.
Love it.
So for the mouse, if it shows up, this is what it means. Pay close attention to details so as not to let anything important escape your attention. It's a time of plenty for you, yet one that requires vigilance in order to avoid any diminishment, thank you, or significant losses. You may be missing something that is obvious and right in front of you. It's an appropriate time for closer scrutiny of all that's going on in your life and to sort out that which no longer fits. Make an assessment of your strengths and your limitations without judgment, and be completely honest with yourself. You're missing an opportunity by narrowly focusing your attention on only one or two activities. That is really funny, actually. It's not
Is
funny.
that- does that resonate with
but
you
it
quite a bit?
resonates with you, Bev.
Really?
Totally. I was like,
And I know only because I know.
yeah,
Wow.
because Shelly kind of knows what's been going on. So,
Wow.
but yeah, that is just so funny.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got what you needed today.
Good.
And I'm glad you were in your car when you saw a mouse and not like just about.
It didn't
to
just
see a
like
mouse.
run
You know
over
what I
your
mean?
foot
So-
at a restaurant or something. That's
No.
nice.
You guys are definitely going to
true.
give Shelly a nightmare. We can't
Oh,
even talk
sorry.
about it
No,
anymore.
sorry.
Nope. They don't exist in houses.
There's no mice ever in the city.
Only in the fields.
There's no,
Fields.
I know
no
this
one
is-
goes to the fields.
This is a little side note. Like, there's a couple things in my life that I'm fearful of, and mice is one of them. But I'm also fearful of ticks. And I had my
Oh,
very
yeah.
first tick on myself at my daughter's house.
Ugh.
And
no way.
it was very like, I know people that are listening probably like, oh my God, a tick. But anyway, for
No,
me,
ticks are
it was a
fucking
little,
brutal. They're
I get
terrible.
it.
it was like, oh my God,
Uh-uh.
it was crawling up my neck. But what I
Uh-uh.
wanted to say was I actually did have a nightmare of ticks. I had, it was like 2 days or 3 days later, I was at Bev's house and I had a sleep, and I woke up because I freaked myself out because in my dream, I was covered in ticks.
Wow.
Like they were just jumping on me and I was trying to
Yeah.
get them off. And
So it could be
Dang
mice
it.
or ticks tonight for her. We will find out on the next episode of the Empath Sisters for sure.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
or it'll
seriously.
be a bit
When
of
you
scary
said
stories that
that,
you tell us
like-
today.
That's right.
Oh,
it's
exactly.
just,
I hate ticks.
it's so,
I hate ticks. Yeah.
it's
Oh.
like
What
a
so
useless
scary.
bug.
Well,
Yeah.
very useless. Like they're
No,
like
they're awful.
cockroaches. Why are
Does
you here?
anyone else remember them like
Hungry.
20 years ago? I don't remember ticks when I was little
No.
at all.
And
And I would
never.
run
All of
in
a
the
sudden they're
field
everywhere.
and like run in the grass and like never.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any time
Like-
of year, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh no.
And I've never
now I
actually
won't go.
seen a tick. Like I've never actually seen a tick.
Ooh.
You're
And
gonna give me
so
nightmares. Like, ugh.
Everybody that's
thing-
listening,
This
Don't
thing
want it.
was
this
crawling on
is
me.
the scary story right now.
This is it. You waited,
That's it.
an hour into the podcast, and now is the dirty,
Yeah,
scary
now here's the real
story.
crap.
Here's the real dirt. It's
Ugh.
the
The
ticks.
hair is standing on my entire body talking
We're all
about
going to be
They're
scratching and
worst.
paranoid. And
they're so
I know. Now I keep
awful.
scratching my hair and I'm checking my legs. And it's
Right?
like, Brittany, you haven't even left your yard. Stop.
Like
You-
my armpit's
you
itchy.
have-
Is it a tick?
That's exactly what happened when I had the tick on my neck. I
Oh,
literally for 3 days, I felt my skin crawling because that's all I
Yeah.
felt. And it was
Yeah.
just,
the mind is that powerful, everybody.
100%.
Let's just remind you. So
Yes.
that's
But
why.
also Lyme
when-
disease is real. So
It
please check
is.
yourself for ticks.
It is. I know
It is
someone
real.
who has it and she has gone through it. She had to
Same.
fight
Yeah, I
her
know
way to
somebody
get to a
too.
doctor to listen. So
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
oh,
So yes.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
do
do?
too.
Yeah.
I know someone, the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Ugh.
So, okay, loves. Now you need to tell everybody where everyone can find you. So we need to know what your personal IG accounts are or social media accounts are and your Empath Sisters, please.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
Okay.
Anytime.
I was like, are you going
Are
to
we
say
friends?
that? Well, for our Empath Sisters, you can definitely find us on Instagram at _Empath Sisters. And you can also find us on Facebook as well. It's just Empath Sisters, I believe. I don't really, yeah, I'm
It is.
sure
That's okay.
It is.
yeah, I'm like, Brittany? No. just kidding. If you don't know, but Brittany's also our kind of like our little assistant as well. So
Yeah,
this is perfect.
I'm
So
so
there's
very
on
lucky.
her.
We're very
So-
lucky.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm pretty lucky.
Oh,
Amazing.
we're
And then-
lucky too.
We just all work out so well together.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good.
And then
Yeah.
you can find me, my personal page. I'm under the Healing Libra. So it's it's the _ Libra.
Yeah,
On
there you go.
Instagram. And on
Okay.
Facebook, you can find me with the Healing Libra 5. And on
And your website. Your
Oh yeah,
website.
on my website. I guess I should do that too. It's www.thehealinglibra.ca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
where you can find Shelly Greenlaw, the Healing Libra.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mhm.
And Miss
Awesome.
Bev?
For myself, Bev Lazar. So on Instagram, I am spiritual_mentor_Bev Lazar. I am on Facebook as well, just Bev Lazar Spiritual Mentor. And my website is bevlazar.ca. So you can find all my things there, classes I
Mhm.
teach and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
All the
And
good stuff.
Yeah.
with the Empath Sisters, for my sister and I, we are actually going to be hosting an in-person event, a 2-day in-person event coming up here in the fall in Saskatoon in September.
Yes.
The dates are the 10th and the 11th. So if you want to find out more information on that, you can definitely check it all out on our social media. And
There'll be
yeah.
updates coming soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll
And
make
they're
sure
fun.
to
Coming
yeah,
out
I'll
with
share
us.
all of that in the show notes as well for listeners, both on all of our channels. So make sure to check out their podcast on all basically every podcast provider. You cannot miss the show. I can
It's in
say
your
that
face.
from a firsthand. It's fantastic, and you guys
Yeah.
are so lovely to listen to and to
Game
watch.
changer.
And, I just love it. So
Yeah.
really, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. I know it's hard to
Yes.
kind of align 4 different schedules, so I really do appreciate you guys
It
making this
worked
happen.
out.
Love
It was
yeah.
this was our first full circle moment, because like I said,
I
you
love
guys
it.
are
Yeah.
you guys are so very important to us. So
Yeah.
thank you
We've
very
always
much.
we've always been saying since the moment we all met that there was going to be more to our story, and here we
Yeah.
are.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
We knew there'd be
I
more.
love it. My heart
Wow.
is so full.
Yes.
good.
Like so full. It's exploding.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm so humbled by your words, and I feel so honored
Yeah, me
to
too.
know both of you and to have both of you in my journey as well personally.
Mhm.
And I am so honored that you guys are inspired to do this and you are doing it, and we get to be your first guests. I just had a blast. You guys are so fun to hang out with. It's like when me and Shelly hang out, it's just like hanging out with double sisters, you know, it's fun. And
something about
you
sisters
guys have such beautiful souls and energy. And I mean, yeah, you just feel like you're our sisters too. So thank you so much for inviting us and allowing us to share some of our stories with you guys and your listeners. So thank you.
Yeah,
I feel this again. We'll do another one.
And I
yes,
feel the
we'll
same.
have
I
to
just
do
wanna
another,
also-
please.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jessica. Shelly's trying to talk.
Go ahead,
Shelly's trying
Shelly.
to tell us some compliments. Shelly's trying to tell us compliments.
That's
No,
fine.
sorry.
I don't have to.
Sorry.
I just wanted to say this.
She already did
basically
me.
the
It doesn't
same
matter
thing.
anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My
Brittany's
cup
like,
is full. Don't worry.
I basically just wanted to say the same thing as Bev. I feel the same way. I feel like this whole podcast that we did together, this episode together, was fantastic. I had so much fun. We had a lot of laughs. My cheeks are like, if you can't tell, really,
it
really
hurts.
red
My
from
face
just
hurts.
like laughing and doing all the things. And no, I feel the same way. I'm so humbled and so honored to be on as well. And to know you guys. I know I don't really know you, Jessica, on a more personal level, but if you're anything like Brittany, I'm sure it's the same, but I do feel like we resonate, but you know.
Yes, I totally feel it too. Brittany and I are like a copy paste, so you can't go wrong. So yes,
you could call us by each other's names and we'll still come running. So
we'll still come running. Exactly. You need us, we're there.
Yes. And before we sign off, quick, Jessica, where can everyone find us?
Yes.
Well, you can find us on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, duh, the one, basically the biggest one, at Basic Banter for Witches. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And there's one more, and I always forget what it is. Oh, Google. Duh. You can email us. Yeah. Basic Banter for Witches @gmail.com. That one. So there you go.
We love all of your feedback. We'll take it.
Fantastic. We'll take it, except for the negative crap that goes to trash. Yeah. But thanks though.
That's going in a folder that do not read ever.
Exactly. Do not read. We do not accept that. But no, thank you guys.
Return to sender.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're excited to see what's going to happen next.
Exactly. Until next time, ladies. Love you very much.
All right. Bye-bye. 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 See you later. Bye-bye. Au revoir.